Welcome back, my friends, to TFT Hyperroll with Artarg. Let's start off with the graphic this time. Like, comment, subscribe, algorithm, you know the drill. Now, in Set 8, they had hero augments, which I was not a fan of because I felt it could pigeonhole your build very early, especially if you got it offered in the first round, and then you were kind of forced to try to build around a champion. The concept was good, implementation not so good. What did they do to fix it in Set 9? And I will give them props for this one because it worked out really, really well. First thing I like to do now is always check my portal. We're in Ornn's Forge, which means we're going to get an Ornn Anvil either in 4-1 or 6-3. They don't make it clear which one it's going to be. Now let's jump to the augments where this is going to get fun. The boss is effectively a Sett hero augment. The first time Sett falls below 40% health, he's going to go do some sit-ups. Each sit-up is going to give him 15% of his max health and grant him 20% attack speed and ability power. So he'll take a break from the match, but come back much, much stronger. And since Sett is an Ionian, we decide to go with the Ionia bonus, and you are going to get to see the impact of this augment really early. Sett loses health, gets knocked back, comes back in just in time because he'll come back in when he's needed, and then takes over the fight with his newly enraged powers. Item choice, I'm a little torn here because I can grab the Giant's Belt for Warmogs, but I would rather get a little health regeneration on him as well, so we're going to go Dragon's Claw first and then hope we can find another Giant's Belt down the road to make the Warmogs. But here we're up against 3 2-star champions that already have Challenger engaged, so this is going to be nearly impossible, even for a super-powered Sett who comes off the bench only to die very quickly thereafter. We bring in action, so we have Deadeye, which will get us a little bit more into the backline, as some of the attacks will go that direction. Sett gets knocked out pretty quick, but comes back, and this is where it all becomes critical. He re-engages, holds everything in place, so action is able to slowly take them out, as we end up winning that fight thanks to the boss. For items here, it's very hard to resist a spatula because there are so many things you can do with it, but the ability to make a Sunfire Cape is just a little too tempting to pass up. We can bring in Irelia, as she is just generally a stronger unit than Zedd, and now we have her up to 2 stars. And the whole concept here is that I want Sett and Irelia to be able to hold back the opposing team enough that Jhin in action can do enough damage so that if Sett has to jet, Jhin in action might be able to finish it off without even Sett needing to come back in. It's time for the second set of augments, and I had the ability to get the 2-star Ashe and the 2-star action just before, and in my head I'm thinking, you know what, maybe go with a really strong front line and then Deadeye in the back. This will mean putting the Bramble Vest onto Sett so that now he has armor, magic resist, and then just a little bit of damage that he's giving off just being near him, along with the anti-heal. We can put the Dragon's Claw on Irelia. That's an excellent item for her. The one mistake I made, I should have put Ashe in instead of Zedd. Zedd is not working in this build at this point. But this will allow us to answer a simple question. How strong is a 1-star Sett with the Boss Augment? So notice he goes out pretty early. The rest of our team is decimated. Sett comes back into a 5v1. Now it is 4v1. Make that 3v1. Sett is holding on. 2v1, 1v1, and Sett wins. For an item choice, because I have the needlessly large rod, I want to grab the bow so I can make a Rage Blade. The question is who to put it on. Action is very, very strong, but since we're running Ionia, Jhin can get the Ionian buff, and Jhin can do a ton of damage from all the way across the board, ultimately wreaking havoc in the backline. And at this moment, Sett is still only a 1-star, but that's about to change because we picked up one just before the round started, but he's already had a huge impact. Imagine how effective he's going to be as he increases in power. It is time for our Orn Anvil, and it kind of makes me wish I hadn't fully itemized Sett, because Hull Crusher is fantastic. But we can use it on Irelia, as she is also a very good frontliner. We just can't put her next to anyone anymore. This time we're going to have to face off against Spin to win, although this person has a little bit of a problem because they're running Demacia, but they also have a locket that requires everyone to be in a line, which doesn't work that well with Demacia since they need to be adjacent. But thanks again to Sett coming in off the sidelines to bail the team out. He gets in there, holds everything up long enough for action to get the final shot. So, time for the final augments, and it's an interesting choice. You Have My Bow could be really good because we're relying on Deadeyes, but Gifts from the Fallen gives us a lot of extra stats, 5% on attack, ability, magic resist, armor, etc. And each time someone goes down, it's going to increase the rest of the team. Since Sett is leaving the match and then coming back in, he should come back with even more power than he normally would have. We put the Bloodthirster on Urgot as that is one of the best items for him, and he is now our 4th Deadeye. Urgot is a very interesting unit in this set because he tends to land himself in a lot of trouble by jumping into opponents' backlines. So you want to give him items that are going to try to help keep him alive. But you don't want to completely use him as a tank because that's not really his function. And we run into a sorcerer team that is very, very strong. That Lux in the back can just wreak havoc on everything. And as you can see, even though Sett goes out, comes back in, he stands no chance against that. It is time for an item choice, and I want to try to make Urgot as effective as possible. Titan's Resolve should give him a little extra power and tankiness both at the same time. We roll through, 2-star our second set, making room for the Anvil. I'm torn. Which way do I want to go? Gargoyle Stoneplate could work on Urgot, but I'd rather go Edge of Night, which will allow him to drop aggro and maybe gain back some power before rejoining a fight. We're also headed towards 6 Ionians, and we bring in Karma because she will tick Invoker along with Shen. So I'm honestly not sure what best in slot for Urgot is, but I feel like these work out really well. It allowed him to go into the backline and then drop aggro when he got low. The Bloodthirster allows him to come back, get involved again, and help really cement this win, leading the damage charts. And bringing us into the top 4, where we now have an interesting decision to make. We want to bring in Aphelios because Aphelios is strong with the right items. So we get rid of Ash rather than Jhin because Jhin is that 6th Ionian. Now the other thing is if you've played Aphelios, you know he's pretty useless without some very specific items. Rageblade, Infinity Edge, and Giant Slayer. Unless you get those, he's not going to help that much. So rather than keep going for the 3-star Jhin, we sell Jhin, transfer 2 of the items over, and hope that we can get the next one. But it's going to be a tough fight because this is a very, very strong Void team with a ridiculous Rek'Sai, since their Titan's Resolve, as you can see, can go up to 35, which is one of the augments that they have this season. And yeah, it's a little too much to handle at 3 stars. It's time for our final 2 items and a little bit of a quandary. Grab the Giant Slayer for Aphelios because, yeah, like I mentioned before, that's the key. Item-wise, we're kind of set for items in so many ways. We have pretty much everything we want. We can grab an Infinity Edge and put it on action. But I picked up a Nasus, so I'm kind of torn whether to stick with Juggernaut and 5 Ionians or go to the 6 Ionians, picking up someone like Yasuo, who I don't think is going to add much to the team because I don't have good items for him. I'm also 1 set away from gold 3-star Sett, which I think will make a huge difference. But it's going to be really tough against a gold 3-star Lysandra. We want Sett to come in and really do damage, but she's pretty dang strong, and as you can see, is able to cut through him, get through to our Jhin, and finish him off. I ultimately decide that the 2 Juggernaut bonus is not worth enough, and I'd rather have the 6 Ionians, even though it means just putting in a sacrificial Yasuo. I 3-starred the Sett, but just before the round started, so he's not 3 stars yet. However, he's still strong enough, especially with the 6 Ionian bonus, for us to survive through to the next round. And we can watch it come together, the gold 3-star Sett. Now this is about to get crazy. We go looking for a 2-star Yasuo, find Ahri, decide to bring her in instead because we can 2-star her, hopefully try to 3-star, but there was really no chance. Who are we left against? The team with the gold 3-star Rek'Sai that can go up to 35 twice because of 2 Titans resolves and the augment that helps it. And like most games this season, we see Void in the final 2. This is a crazy fight because they are all over our team, and Sett has to make an early entrance and keep on doing sit-ups. Luckily, those Urgot items worked out really well, and it allows Sett to get back to full health and get back in the fight. Together, they are able to focus down that monster, and it's GG for everyone, thanks to the boss and Urgot working together. Hope you enjoyed this video. I wouldn't recommend trying to force this build, but if you get the Sett Augment, it's a lot of fun. And as always, have an absolutely awesome day.